Well, live from the THV 11 studio, all forms of weather impacts all forms of your life. That's why meteorologist Nathan Scott joins me. He has new information on the historic flooding in parts of the state. Nathan, good afternoon. What can you tell us?
Hey, good afternoon, Jurnee. We are still watching the Ouachita River. It continues to flood. Here's some good news, though. It has crested at Camden, crested last evening at 42.3 feet, and now it is falling, and it will continue to fall at Camden all the way through the weekend. So expected to be below moderate flood stage by Sunday morning. So it's going to drop from 42 to 36 over the next several days. However, farther downstream, Thatcher around Morro Bay, you can expect a rise of probably 8 feet over the next several days because the crest will continue to work its way down that part of the Ouachita. Now, tomorrow we do have the potential. We could see some spicy storms out there. Here's the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, and we do now have a 2 out of 5 risk or a slight risk of severe weather in the yellow. That includes a large part of East Arkansas. Here in Central Arkansas, we have a 1 out of 5 or a marginal risk of severe weather, and the primary concern for tomorrow will be the potential of hail. Quarter size or larger will be a possibility as a cold front makes its way in. So enjoy today. We'll see lots of sunshine. It'll be warmer out there, breezy as well. Temperatures topping out into the mid to upper 70s, maybe some low 80s in Fort Smith and also Texarkana. Coming up, we'll have a look at future radar to time out when those storms could bubble up on your Thursday coming up.
Well, as Nathan said, the Ouachita River has reached historic levels. Those levels, however, are starting to recede. That's signaling momentum for recovery from that weekend storm system. Now, our team is constantly monitoring hard-hit locations. The river reached its peak crest at about 42 feet, and the highest ever on record was 46 feet. Now, the flood conditions, of course, was brought forward from the weekend storms. We have learned, though, people are working together to provide assistance.
It's a terrible situation, but when you have people willing to go above and beyond to help their fellow citizens, that's a pretty awesome sight for me as county judge.
2 public parks in the area of the Ouachita area remain completely submerged. We'll keep our eyes on progress there. And if that wasn't enough, get a look at this video. Several highways are still flooded over. RDOT shared this video with us. It's Highway 64 in East Arkansas, close to the Earl area. If you're traveling, do so with caution. Crews are actively working to improve these conditions. And flooding might not be as great of a concern for some. However, thousands are still in the dark this hour. Entergy has been adamant about their restoration efforts. Right now, there's just under 5,000 outages reported. However, a homeowner tells us she's on her last straw.
They would get back to us and say, okay, restoration date, maybe the next day at 10 o'clock. We wait around, and eventually the power is still not on, and we get an update. Say if we got that same first update at about 7 o'clock that evening, we get another update around the same time that says the next day at 10 o'clock.
Well, Entergy says they hear your frustrations, and the company told our team storm debris has delayed getting your power restored. Your state legislature has again voted down a new prison budget proposal. That's the new update in the Franklin County prison dispute. On Tuesday, the state Senate voted 21-9 on that bill. It remains a key issue among the state. Most concerns coming from the people living close to where the prison will be built. Those on top of allegations of the land actually being a native burial site.
The trucks that have been in and out of here, which I have pictures of, are work trucks. They're putting up signs. They're cleaning the road. They're fixing the driveway. There is no study on an archaeological level because they haven't done it, because we would have seen it. We're not just a bunch of redneck pieces of crap like they have said before. We're not. We're intelligent people that care about our community, that want to actually help them correct their mistake.
Well, one senator has proposed instead smaller regional facilities. As this develops, we'll work to provide new information as it comes. The battle over pharmacy benefit managers is back on display. A bill regulating PBMs has advanced the ranks of your state legislature. Pharmacy benefit managers, often the middlemen for drug companies, pharmacies, and insurance. PBMs are responsible for setting prices for medication. However, this bill will block them from being an owner of a pharmacy of their own. It primarily affects industry giants like CVS. The warning now, though, is that 20 CVS stores could close in the state.
That would be the 23 pharmacies across the state. Some of those are core, some of those are inside Target, and that is, those are community pharmacies for many Arkansans, and that's where they're able to get their medications up there where they want to shop.
But just to be really clear, what's happening here is the largest companies on earth, money more than some nations, are targeting the sickest patients in this country. And they're not just taking away their choice. They're not just fragmenting their care, but they're marking these medications up thousands and thousands of %.
We'll monitor the outcome of the bill as it goes up for debate among the full Senate. We also have this update from the state capitol. Governor Sanders just signed a bill into law. It requires insurance companies to expand coverage for breast reconstruction. The law's sponsors say patients will no longer have to travel out of the state.
You listen to the testimony of the survivors that were denied this coverage, that were waiting for this coverage, that went out of state, some distances of several thousand miles, to be able to afford their portion of this surgery. It was time for us to address this issue and bring it here. And
well, medical experts advise these surgeries are vital for cancer treatment. The law takes effect the first day of next year. China has chosen to move forward with action against the U.S. Just this morning, the country raised its tariffs on U.S. goods, that now being 84%. President Donald Trump, however, is ready to respond. Natalie Brand has those details from Washington, D.C.
U.S. trading partners are hitting back after President Trump's reciprocal tariffs kicked in overnight. Beijing responded to the administration's additional 50% tariff on Chinese imports, raising its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods to 84%.
No one wins in a war, but it's proportionality, and the proportionality for the Chinese is going to be much worse.
The European Union has announced retaliatory tariffs on more than $20 billion of U.S. goods. But countries are also signaling they want to negotiate. The administration says it's heard from about 70.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
President Trump also criticized the members of his own party who are questioning his tariff strategy, saying it would be a mistake for Congress to take over trade negotiations.
As I talk to my farmers, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty, because when we get into a trade war, usually the first pawn in the trade war is agriculture.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer returned to Capitol Hill for a second day of questioning about the administration's strategy.
I think that tariffs are an imposition on foreign goods that can protect American workers and American products.
President Trump also said Tuesday night he will impose new tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals, but did not say when. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, to win big money, you have to spend big money. Well, that's the newest rules being put in place with the Mega Million Draw.
Take advantage of the day because it's going to be beautiful out there. Lots of sunshine, warmer temperatures. We'll hit a bump in the road on Thursday, which could feature a small chance of maybe some spicy storms. And then it turns a little bit cooler on Friday. I'll have more on the severe weather potential for your Thursday and talk about some really nice weather this weekend coming up.